Peace, family. This brother Rich, reporting from Underground Rural Productions. I just wanted to make a quick video, y'all, for the family. I usually ask all the questions, but I want to speak real quick about something that was on my mind concerning the passing of our brother, Dick Gregory, and just things that have been crossing my mind as of late in terms of, the direction culture is moving in. There's a lot of energy around. I don't know if people want to say it's because of the eclipse or Donald Trump or whatever, but I'm sure everybody has their share of things on their mind and directions they want to move in with their life. But I want to start out by thanking all the independent media outlets for mentioning Dick Gregory and talking about how great of a man he was. The Breakfast Club, they did a show with him last year, and they just did a show, talking about his passing, and they replayed that episode from last year when he was on the show. So shout out for them for using their platform to bring brothers on there like that. Shout out to Boyce Watkins, who did a video. Tariq, the brother Tariq Nasheed, did a video. And the others who did a video. All the celebrities who mentioned Dick Gregory as well. I know Diddy put up something on Instagram. T.I., comedian Mike Epps, comedian D.L. Hewley put up a bunch of posts pertaining to the brother Dick Gregory, and just a lot of other entertainers as well talked about him. One thing I noticed is that the mainstream media, I didn't hear much about his passing in mainstream media. Of course, they mentioned it, but it wasn't to the extent that I thought it would be for somebody of Dick Gregory's magnitude and what he did in moving culture, our culture forward. I know Jerry Lewis died the day after Dick Gregory, and they talked about him constantly on TV and in the magazines. And I said to myself, there's nothing to get mad at about that they're honoring, paying respect to Jerry Lewis, and Dick Gregory gets a couple of sentences and then they stop talking about it, or they don't talk about it at all. But I understand, it just makes me continue to understand that we have to preserve our own culture and tell our own story when it comes to brothers like that. So that's what's important about these independent platforms and the brothers and sisters on social media that's putting it out there. Our story, is it going to get told for us? We got to tell it ourselves. We got to make our own movies before they end up making our movie and we saying so and so ain't look like that. Like, damn, you see what they did to Beyonce's wax statue at Madame Tussauds, whatever it's called, and she looked so crazy. It looked so unlike Beyonce. And they got such a public backlash that they had to take it down. But that's what they will literally do to you. Like, they did that in real time. They didn't even wait 30 years later. They did that in real time. Like, here's Beyonce, y'all. So basically just saying, I'm not mad that mainstream media, the same people who's telling us about the statues and this and that, and things got to change and this and that, and they turn around and barely mention the brother Dick Gregory when he's been a civil rights icon, comedian for the brother was 84 years, so the brother been holding it down for a long time, man. So it is what it is. I appreciate those that support, but it just makes me know that we have to invest in ourselves. I gotta continue to try to build my empire. Not try, but continue to build my empire to make it, as bigger and better as possible. I always tell you that's one thing Dick Gregory continuously said on the on my show. If y'all go to any of the videos I did with him, he always started out by giving me props, saying that I don't know the power I have in my media, and that the ABCs or the NBCs, they don't have the power that they used to have because of independent media. So, the brother didn't know me from a hole in the wall, man. He gave me a chance, what I'm saying? Just like I give other people a chance that come on my platform to display, what they have to say and show their talent or whatever, their speaking abilities or whatever it is they have. That brother gave me a shot. And that's something I can't forget, and I definitely got to appreciate. So Thanks for everybody for mentioning the brother. Thanks for everybody for supporting. Thanks for everybody that shows support with the latest red pill video that I put up. Every video is not gonna. I don't want there to be confusion when people think they gotta pay for all the videos now. That's not the case, but there will be paid content on the channel, and it's important that we support those that what you worth, what you put value into. So if you value the information, show support sometime. If I have paid content once a month, once every 2 months or whatever, show support if you feel like it will benefit you. If it don't, you don't have to leave nasty comments. Just don't buy it and wait till something comes up that benefits you and watch for free. But at the end of the day, it takes money to build what we need to build, to invest in what we need to invest in. And we all know that. That's why we all have a job. We either all work for ourselves or have a job. So, I want to thank everybody for supporting and those that chose to purchase Red Pill's latest presentation. I watched that brother work on it for months, the In Too Deep. And the brother put a lot of hard work into it, but something new kept popping up with everything going on. So the brother always wanted to add something, and we only put 3 hours up there, but it was really 6. But I told him that, I was like, damn, man, I don't know if people want to watch 6 hours. We could do a part 1 and a part 2 later. We might just throw a part 2 up. I don't know. We'll see how that work out. But thank everybody for supporting and that. Thanks for everybody who support me on Patreon. We're going to get bigger and better, and we're going to continue to expand. We're going to continue to grow as far as documentaries. We got something big coming up, big documentary. I don't know if I'm not going to say the name just yet, but it's looking like around Christmas with a lot of big names on it. So I'm not sure when the trailers is going to come out for the new documentary, but it's going to be big. So stay tuned for that. But, we're expanding. And we're just going to try to make this. I keep using that word try. You see, I'm saying all of this, and that's a word I got to eliminate from my vocabulary. But you'll get the whole point. But, one thing, and last but not least, I wanted to touch on a concept Dick Gregory always talked about. And he always talked about the universal God and the universal God being in you. And I know we all say that we believe that we're made in the image of God, or we always quote these texts from ancient Kemet and all these ancient societies, but I don't know if we really believe that. Otherwise, we would be making certain moves, because your actions show what your belief really is. Words are the least purveyor of truth. You could say you believe your divinity, having a human experience, but how you move shows if you really believe that or not. And just talking to the brother Dick Gregory, I always got that sense that brother really believed that. And I believe that's why the brother was so successful in doing what he did, and his health and everything. So really knowing it and reading it, knowing it in your heart and knowing it in your mind is two different things. And I just think that a big problem with us is that we know something, although we know a lot of things intellectually, we don't know it in our heart. And I think that it won't reflect in our lives until we know it in our heart. So it has to go from us just knowing it on an intellectual level and being able to quote the hymns of Osiris or the Psalms or whatever religion you're into, but you have to know it in your heart, and it will reflect in how you move in life. And I wanted to read somebody that encompassed that to me. Believe it in yourself. I was reading this article. It's Floyd Mayweather. Now, I'm not talking about on a social level. I don't agree with a lot of the things Floyd makes. Him, his treatment of women, or I may not agree with, him going to Trump's inauguration. I totally didn't agree with that. That was kind of crazy to me. But I don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and I feel as though we have to learn from people we may not agree with everything that they do. And I think that it's the moment we don't agree with somebody, we act like we can't learn from them. And I think that's dangerous, and we're cutting off our own growth. So although I may not agree with everything this brother does or this sister does or this person does, that doesn't mean that I still can't learn from them. And if we're talking about believing in yourself and what Dick Gregory was talking about with this universal God principle being in you, not outside of you like we've been taught our whole lives, then I think Mayweather is somebody that we could learn from. Let me read this article for you real quick, family, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so the article says Floyd Mayweather's biggest bet ever. Floyd Mayweather is about to close in on a $1 billion career fight earnings after his bout with Conor McGregor on Saturday. The vast of the majority of that haul has come since 2006, when Mayweather made a $750,000 bet on himself. Back in 2006, Mayweather declined an $8 million offer from his promoter Top Rank to fight Antonio Margarita. To fight Antonio Margarita. He chafed at what he saw as Top Rank's favoritism toward Oscar De La Hoya, then the #1 attraction in the sport, and publicly bickered with Top Rank's chairman Bob Arum over the way Arum chose to promote him. So rather than accept the $8 million for the fight, he probably would have won easily. Yeah, he definitely would have won. Mayweather paid Top Rank $750,000 to get out of his contract and promote himself to be his own boss. It was a massive risk because it seemed to end any hope for a fight with De La Hoya, and most financial advisors would say it is better to earn $8 million than to spend $750,000. A little over a decade later, though, Mayweather continues to cash in on that so-called risky bet. So I'm gonna end it there. You could read whatever you want. I mean, say what you want to say. You know, we hate to give people props. As you know, when I was watching this Rap Radar interview with Jay-Z the other day, and he was talking about the self-hatred in our culture and how we just, he was talking about LeVar Ball, and when somebody has the audacity to believe in themselves or invest in themselves or charge or do things of that nature, you get a lot of backlash from your community. And, it is what it is. We can't worry about that. I think at this point, it's about quality and not quantity. So we can't worry about the numbers or the people that I'm going to come with us. It's about the quality of the people that's coming with us and moving to this next paradigm that you see we're entering at this time. But you got to give Mayweather his props, man. A lot of people, no matter what they say, no matter what conspiracy theory they come up with about why Mayweather is successful now, because it is, because of that, a lot of people aren't turning down $8 million. A lot of people aren't going to turn down $8 million, then turn around and spend $750,000 to get out of a contract with the top promotional team in boxing. So for Mayweather to do that, and I know it wasn't easy, and for him to do that at that time, that's something we could all learn from, because I'm sure there's been a lot of points in all of our lives where we've been in a situation that we wasn't too happy in, but we felt as though it was security in it. And to invest in ourselves is risky, and sometimes it's better to stay somewhere where you're uncomfortable, because at least you know it. At least you know what to expect. So even though the promised land might be behind that door, if you're not 100% sure, you won't open up that door. You could be standing in hell, but at least you know what's in hell. So this room is hotter than that room. That room is unbearable. I'll stay right here, and although I'm uncomfortable, I don't know what's on that other side. It could be worse than this. We have to get out. We got to take risk at this time, and I feel as though we got to learn from people like Mayweather. As crazy as it may seem, see, this universal God principle it doesn't matter how many books you read, or if your hair is locked up, or if you don't, if a woman has a weave in her hair or something like that, or if you eat pork, you know what I'm saying? It has absolutely nothing to do with that. That's something else that we need to work on as a culture. But what I'm talking about right now is belief in yourself. And we see that with people that don't embody the typical consciousness that we're used to. So there's a lot of brothers right now that's speaking. There's a lot of sisters right now that's speakers, that knows tons of information, that's brilliant, that has vegan diets, but they wouldn't believe in themselves to the extent to turn down money from a job to start their own business. So at the end of the day, we have to admire a move like this. And sometimes in life, when you admire, because we're a reflection of each other. So when you admire something in somebody else, you know that potential's in you. And you know that you will eventually personify that same thing you admire. So, yeah, man, we got to stop chasing away success or chasing away those that are able to do things that we're too scared to do. So, no, I don't agree with everything Mayweather did or Mayweather has done or whatever he's doing now. He has a strip club called, the Girl Collection. And people will say Mayweather has a strip club called Girl. I'm not talking about that at all. We have to stop looking at the world in terms of black and white. And I don't mean race. I don't mean race when I say black and white. But either you hate him or you love him or either this or that. Nah, there's like you have to appreciate good and the bad in everybody. We have to learn from everybody. And situations like this, and I talked about Jordan in the past on my show. And Jordan gets a lot of hate from people who consider themselves woke because they feel as though he could have done a lot more for the community. But I appreciate greatness when I see greatness. And greatness may come in a vessel that I necessarily don't agree with 100%. It may come with all types of human vessels where I just don't, you may not like that person's personality. You may not like how that person moves. You may not like the music that person listens to. But you have to respect the greatness and the God energy that we all have within us. So my brother Dick Gregory talks about that with the universal God principle in us. So let's get out. Let's not think that we're holier than thou because we know information or because we know about the Illuminati or because we know about this or we know about that. We have to believe in ourselves at the end of the day. It has to be in our heart. And you don't have to read a book. You don't have to do any of that to believe in yourself. It helps. It helped me to read a lot of books. That's why I do it. You know what I'm saying? It helps me to listen to Dr. Phil Valentine talk. That's why I do it. You know what I'm saying? It helps me to listen to Bobby Hemmett back in the day. It helps me to watch Hidden Colors. It gives me confidence in myself. But it has to go from knowing it on an intellectual level to really, 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 really knowing it in your heart. And you're going to get that moment in your life when, we could say, I believe this, I believe that, I know this, I know that. But you're going to have to prove it not to the world, but to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you may get the opportunity to do something, but, it's too risky, so we may not do it. But if you're too scared to do it, don't hate on the next man because he's not scared to make that move. And, it's a matter, and it's okay to be scared. I'm scared to make moves too, shit. But, admiring this in other people will make you less scared to make the next move. And we're all going to be faced with moves we got to make that's kind of scary, whether it's financial, whether it's health-wise, whatever, whether it's something with our family, whether it's, choosing a mate, picking a mate, regardless of what anybody says, oh, don't be with her, she's this or she's that, or, I don't, she's not woke enough because of the way she wears her hair. But, you got to know what you got to make your decision. All your decisions got to come from your heart. And if it comes from your heart, you can live with it at the end of the day. Whatever the turnout is, you can live with it. And let's not be prisoners of our own limiting consciousness. Let's all, moving into this new paradigm, this eclipse that just left, this great American eclipse, I believe that it brought a certain energy, a certain consciousness. And I just feel as though we have to ante up on our beliefs in ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So we won't get offended. Don't take anything personal that the mainstream media is doing. They do what they do. We're responsible for our own liberation. We got to save ourselves. So, learn what you can learn from my videos. Thank you for your support. I appreciate everybody that supports the paid content. If you don't want to support the paid content, that's cool. But there's unlimited resources around here. But I'm getting to I'm taking my platform to another level. And I appreciate everybody that's coming with me on that ride and on that journey. And I appreciate everybody that believes in themselves. Because every time I see somebody that believes in themselves, like the example I just gave with Mayweather, it strengthens my belief in myself. So, you know, just like they say misery loves company, shit, happiness loves company too. Success loves company. So I want to, you know, I'm successful. I want to be in the company of successful people because it strengthens me. They said if you have 4 friends that's millionaires and you're always around them, you're going to be the 5th one. So I love being around smart people. Smart people love company. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not just misery. Whatever you're into, you love the company of that. So I am successful. I am divinity. I'm that spark of divinity. I'm that aperture of divinity. So I love it when I see people that embody that, that personify that. And it comes in vessels that you wouldn't imagine sometime. It comes in vessels that you won't agree with sometime. But I recognize that trait in people regardless of what they're into, because I recognize it. Because I've had to display that to myself at times. And it was scary, but the risk is definitely worth it at the end of the day. So yeah, that's all I want to say for today, y'all. Rest in power once again to the brother Dick Gregory for you know, continuing to, for always making me confident in what I do and in my platform, and making me believe that, you know, my platform could reach that level. And you know, it's about quality, and I ask everybody to have quality people in your lives that could inspire you. And inspiration is a lot, and infuses you. It gets you moving and get you going. So thanks for everybody for listening. You know, you could be doing anything in the world, but you're here with me. So I want to thank you for giving me your time. Go look up that. I'm going to put the article up. You know, read something inspirational tomorrow. You know, do something inspirational tomorrow. Be around somebody inspirational tomorrow. It'll rub off on you. You know, it's contagious. Energy is contagious. So be careful what type of energy you're around. It's very contagious. It'll rub off on you. So I want some of this energy right that I just read right here to rub off on me. This confidence, believing in yourself to rub off on me. But I'm signing out. Once again, thank you for all my Patreon supporters, everybody that donate on PayPal. We're going to continue to grow. You're going to continue to see this platform expand, grow, go to that next level, that $1 million level. So I appreciate all the love and support from around the world. And this is Brother Rich, Underground Railroad Productions. I'm signing out, family. I'm going to see you. Peace.